If you have been trying to change for years, but somehow keep ending up in the same place, there might be one thing you've been overlooking. Today, I want to share the 4 practices that have had the biggest impact on my own transformation. We've got a lot to talk about. Hello everyone, this is Kevlan, and in today's video I wanted to share 4 practices that have helped me throughout my own journey, helped me change my life, helped me heal and release, and help me when I'm going through a tough time, a more challenging time, or when you have your mind, the monkey mind as we call it, that has been like really bothering you, or you have the thought patterns coming back, or you feel very emotional. So that's those practices that I've been using to this day, and I still do it on a regular basis, especially during those days where it's a little bit more challenging. And obviously, it's 4 practices out of many practices that I've implemented into my life and that I practice on a regular basis. But today I wanted to talk about what the 4 most powerful practices that you can start implementing into your life right now. Now, before I share those practices, I want to be clear that they are practices. So I've always, if you've been following me for some time, if you've been listening to my previous videos and my teachings in general, I keep saying that you're going to be able to change your life when you change yourself. And those practices are not practices that are going to change yourself, but are going to be catalysts to help you embody a new state of being. They're going to be catalysts to help you release what has been holding you back, so that you can become and you can embody the person you want to embody. Again, those practices are really something you want to, see as catalyst, or see as, sometimes we say permission slip, because we already are. We already that spark. It's just a matter of recognizing it. And sometimes we need something external. We need something like to really help. We need to do something, even though our state to change our life is to be, but we need to do something sometimes to become and to start being on a regular basis. So look at those practices as, those permission slip, or those implementation that can boost your transformation, your changing your life and your healing overall. Now, in addition to that, keep in mind that consistency is key, just like everything else. The more you practice, the more you become good at it. The more you become good at it, the more you are able to believe in it, and the more you believe in it and you start to embody it, the more your life externally will start changing. So really don't expect to do the practice once and then expect that your life is going to change the next day. You're going to wake up and everything will have disappeared, even though everything is possible. But just keep in mind that consistency is key. And also surrendering to it. If surrender, let it go. When you do that practice, just let go. Let go of your expectations. Let go of how you think you need to, like whatever needs to happen. Just do those practices with a very open mind, surrendering to the process. And I can assure you, transformation is going to happen. Okay, so that being said, I want to start with the first practice. And that first practice is what I call conscious breathing. Now, there's many ways you can do this conscious breathing. I'm going to be sharing the way I've been practicing it with myself. But before I do so, I want to give you those benefits and what you can experience when you do this conscious breathing on a regular basis. So conscious breathing is really being able to be present. So it's really focusing on your breath and being present. And that's really one of the benefits, is as you focus on your breath and you really keep your attention on the practice, on the breath, then you're going to be more present. And when you're going to be more present, it means your mind is not going to be wandering around in the future or in the past. Keep telling you, or keep focusing on whatever happened to you, or the worst case scenario you're trying to anticipate in the future. So that's the first benefit, is being present and being taking your mind and your attention back to the present. The second benefit is really about movement. When we breathe, we create movement through the body. And as I've explained many, many times in past videos, emotions are energy emotions. But unfortunately, due to conditioning, due to belief, due to traumas, due to so many different factors, we have a tendency to repress those emotions, and especially the ones that are a bit overwhelming, or the one that are a little bit more challenging to process, sometimes, or the one that are lower frequency emotions, because we've heard it's not good to be angry, it's not good to be sad, we need to be strong. So we'll have a tendency to repress those emotions. And I keep saying that the body always expresses what the mind suppresses. So if you keep having those emotions, but you keep repressing them, then you create blockages. You create what I call an energy swamp. So blockages in your meridians, in your nadis, within your body, acupuncture point, So breathing overall will just help you create that movement again, that flow, that energy flow within the body. So you're going to create more movement. And when you create more movement, what happens? If you have blockage, you're going to create more pressure into the blockage. If you have a trapped emotion, something that is still blocked, some part of your body, you're going to create more blockage to it. And eventually, as you keep practicing it, this blockage can dissipate. It can be like, with the flow that you're going to be creating, it's going to dissipate. And you're going to may create at that point an emotional release. And I had many emotional release or the like as I was practicing that breathing. And the third benefit I wanted to share is about the conscious breathing is as you breathe more, as you focus on the breathing and you breathe more excessively, you cannot create an excess of oxygen, so a hyper-oxygenation of your blood. And the cells obviously get fed on the oxygen and the nutrients you're going to provide to them. And when you create an excess of oxygen within the body, because of the body is so intelligent, it's going to create or it's going to convert that excess of oxygen into energy for the cell. So it means you're going to feel more energized, and when you have more energy, your energy field is going to expand, and now all of a sudden your body has more energy to heal as a result. So that's really the three benefits you can have by practicing this conscious breathing on a regular basis. Now the way I do it, and there are two different type of breathing that I do, but I'm going to share one with you today, is really very simple. I breathe in and breathe out, breathe in and breathe out. And I do this really being present and focus on your breath. I do that for 30 times. And when I get to the last one, to the 30th time, I just breathe in and then I hold my breath for just a few seconds. And then I breathe out, completely breathe out, and then I hold again. And I hold this time until I feel the urge to breathe in again. So sometimes I can hold my breath for a minute and a half, or 2 minutes. But I don't breathe in again until I feel the urge to breathe in. And then when I feel the urge to breathe in, I take another big breath and I breathe out. And then I repeat the process, 3 to 5. I do 3 to 5 sets and 30 times each for each set. And it's very powerful. You may have some sensation of tingling. You may have some change of temperature. You may feel emotional. So you may have different type of sensation, which is completely normal, but this is a very powerful practice, and I really hope that you can start implementing or try for yourself, and I would love to hear what you experience in comments. The second practice I wanted to share with you today is what I call mental transmutation. And mental transmutation comes from a practice of Hermetism. I don't know if you've heard about the Hermetism and the 7 different Hermetic principle, for example. So it was done by initiates for thousands of years, and it's really a practice, and you can see that practice as as being an alchemist. Alchemists, they are turning lead into gold, and as a mental alchemist, you want to turn your lower frequency thought patterns you may have, when you feel anxious, or those patterns or thoughts that may trigger those emotions of anxiety or fear, or when you're stuck thinking something in the future, like a worst case scenario, when you're stuck about what happened to you in the past or what someone has said to you. And you're going to be, in those lower frequency thought patterns. So the practice is turning or transforming those lower frequency mental thought patterns into higher frequency mental thought patterns. So the key here is as soon as you're able to observe that, right now I am thinking about something that is triggering these emotions of frustration, or these emotions of fear, or this emotion anxiety. As soon as you witness or you observe that this is a pattern that is running into your mind, so one way, instead of feeding that pattern and keep being absorbed by that thought patterns, and just keep feeding it and reinforcing that thought patterns. As soon as you observe it, you want to change your attention, and you want to focus on something with a higher frequency. So if you right now have a thought that is triggering that emotion of anxiety because you're thinking about something in your future that you're trying to anticipate, now as soon as you see yourself in that loop, instead of feeding that loop again, you change your focus into something that brings that emotion of gratitude, for example, or that emotion of peace within you. So perhaps you think of something you've done yesterday that brought that inner peace, or perhaps you wanna think about your kids and the joy you experienced when they came and they gave you a hug. So it's really having this practice of, instead of feeding that lower frequency mental thought patterns you're stuck, you want to change your attention and focus on something that will change how you feel about yourself. And the practice is going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And the more you practice it, the more you stop feeding that loop and instead focus on something with it's going to trigger a better, higher frequency emotion. We're going to feeling more at peace. Then you're going to be two things. You're going to be able to catch yourself stuck in that loop much faster, so you're not going to feed that loop for too long. And second, it's going to be much easier for you to switch your attention to something that is much more expanding for yourself. So again, try it out next time you have, or you witness, or you notice that you're stuck in a mental loop pattern that creates this anxiety or fear, and try to change it to something that is more expansive for your mind, and let me know what you think about it. The third practice is using your voice, or consciously using your voice to declare and attract or release something into your life. The way I see our voice is a spell. That's why we call spelling. And this is something that was known for thousands of years by ancient civilizations. And for example, 2,000 years ago, I'm sure you've heard of the word abracadabra. It's currently used in some songs, but also usually in magic shows. They say abracadabra and then something happened and they're able to do some magic. So the word abracadabra comes from the Aramaic, and the Aramaic language is basically the language of Yeshua. So back over 2,000 years ago, people were speaking in Aramaic, and Yeshua was speaking in Aramaic. So it's a very ancient language, and in Aramaic, so abracadabra is derived from the Aramaic, and what it means is I create as I speak. So they knew that if you can focus on whatever you think, whatever you say out loud, and really focus on the words in itself, and whatever you're going to say using your voice and using the sound of your voice, you're going to be able to consciously declare whatever you want to attract into your life. So it's very, very powerful practice, and I've been using it. And usually what I do is I start by saying, my voice is a spell, I create as I speak, and then I'm going to be very focused and conscious about whatever I'm going to say at that point. So if you want to change something in your life, if you want to heal or release something in your life, if you want to attract something completely different, if you want to align yourself with a better life or better timeline overall, then you can use that, you can use your words, you can use your voice to really declare that this is what you want to become now. And as you commit to it, as you do it regularly, you can do it. I try to do it twice a day, sometimes. And again, it doesn't take a long time. It's just 5 minutes, being really focused, and start to using your voice as a spell, and realizing that we are co-creators of our reality. And whatever we say, whatever vibration we're going to declare, we're going to put out there, is whatever we're going to attract back. So again, keep in mind that you are very powerful. Your voice is very powerful, and use it as a spell to really broadcast spell to yourself, like broadcast good fortune, good spell, and really use it consciously. And I'm gonna assure you, you're gonna see some changes as you start implementing it more regularly. Number 4, and the last one I wanted to share with you today, is the practice of what I call alchemical healing. And alchemical healing is a practice using different things, using the power of writing or journaling, the power of our voice, as I just explained in number 3, as well as using elements. That's why we say alchemical healing, because we're gonna be using alchemy, like water and fire. And this can be adapted, it can be modified the way you want, because again, it's not why you do, it's really the intention you put behind it, and the meaning you're going to put to that practice. So this alchemical healing has been very powerful for me, and has been able to help me really release many things that were holding me back for a very long time. So sometimes when I'm stuck in those loops, is really helping me release. And there is an entire video where I talk about that entire process, so I'll invite you to check it out if you want to know more about this practice. But in a very condensed and high level, alchemical healing is basically using the power of writing. So you're going to be writing whatever you want to release, and as you write it, then you're going to really put your intention into it. And then what I do is I'm going to be speaking out loud 3 times, and you can say my voice is a spell, I create as I speak, and then you can say 3 times out loud whatever you wrote, whatever you want to release, whatever you want to attract into your life. And then after that, I use fire, and I'm going to be burning the paper, especially if you want to release something into your life. If you want to, free yourself from whatever has been holding you back, then you can use fire at that point to really, transmute that energy, that frequency, and really cut the cords that you may have with that specific event or specific person. And then after that, sometimes I use the power of water to kind of rewrite from the inside out whatever, or wash out also whatever has been holding me back more physically, that was attached to whatever I released energetically. So, but again, if you want to know more about the process, check out that video with a link in the description, and it's an entire video where I go step by step and I explain the process, and you will see how powerful is that process. And I don't do it every day. I only do it and practice it whenever I feel like it, whenever I feel called to do it, whenever there is something that is bothering me and I'm not sure what it is, or something that is bothering me and I want to release once and for all. So I've been using that practice. It's super powerful. So again, try it out for yourself and let me know in comments, what did you think about it? If you learned something today, if this video resonated with you, please subscribe to my channel, smash the like button, share the video with your friends and family, or whoever needs to see this message, or whoever needs some help and some ideas what they can implement to their life to help them change and help them release whatever has been holding them for a long time. Also, I have created a 21-day transformation program that I called Becoming You, and it's an online self-paced transformation program that will help you change your life from the inside out. So this program is really based on a core philosophy of when you become conscious of yourself, you become conscious of the life you are currently creating. And this is going to give you this structure framework, and the same framework that has been changing my life, that I've been following for years to change my life from the inside out. So it's going to give you this structure framework so that you can go from uncovering those unconscious patterns that has been driving the show behind the scene and really creating your life behind the scene, to releasing those patterns and letting go all of this, or all of the patterns that has been holding you back all these years, to realigning yourself to a story or to whatever your heart and your soul truly desire to experience in your life, and then finally integrate all these teachings and knowledge and practices so that you can finally embody and become the conscious creator of your life. So if you want to know more, check it out. I'll leave the link down in the description. For now, stay conscious, stay aware. Until next time.